mind to squirt some rhyme work that'll make your sinus hurt. Buckle your seat while the pilot work. My spacecraft got enough gas that'll take you out of this earth. I'm magic with the pen and paper like a warlock. The window pane's wide open, but the door's locked. So you looking through the window for it in your window, but do they really have the skill to analyze the symbol? Crescendo, the ashes blow when the wind blow. The rain put out the fire while the children build a temple. Just like the pyramids, walls are scribble. A projection in the sky of the messiahs on your mental. Monumental and extraterrestrial. Turning these niggas into mental vegetables. It's kinda crazy how I ride on instrumentals as I slice like a Ginsu with the vibe I put in. You listen. Not a double life, it's just a new beginning. The magic is to focus on our goals till we're winning. I'd rather have a portrait of myself up on the ceiling. I could lay down on the floor, look up and visualize the millions. Imagine that. Do you see the picture clearly? Focusing on working with me. You could get this money with me. We could take over the world and put the trophies in the city, the plaques on the wall, and have a feast of who was with me. Yeah, last week was just the past, right? A new beginning. I've been up for all these past nights, and all these people that I knew just seem to pass by. They stuck on stupid worry about their past lives, and I just ask why. Are they agents? Is the system about to crash? Am I the one like in the Matrix? Is the planets in the heavens? Then the earth is just a spaceship. Our thoughts control reality, and life is what you make it.
You were supposed to be here. You and I were supposed to figure this out together.
Motherfucker. What'd I tell you, Frank?
It got late and I didn't...
You got kids, you nail the window shut. You nail the motherfucking window shut.
No,
Frank,
no.
right?
No, I can't. Don't.
Megan, get the fuck away from that window. Hey, Elgin, let me hold $20 till tomorrow. Yes, indeed. Yes, y'all. We're back. How is everyone out there? Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me out there? Let me know. Let me see. Let me see here. Let's see. Who's up in the building with us? Yo, we're back from the hiatus. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got my video out super late. Been having plenty of things to do. Had a lot of work in front of me. Also, you know, I even had to take some of the stuff out of my video just to get it out. I'm glad I got it up at least today. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you guys like that video. We're going to look at it a little bit tonight. We're going to check it out and give a little analysis on my own video and say some of the things that I neglected to put in the video. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? Hold on. Let me vibe out real quick with a little something. Okay, yes, we're going to vibe out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that's here is supposed to be here. We're going to jump down in the chat and see these shout outs in a hot minute. Just give me a quick second to do a little bit of housekeeping on this here StreamYard business weird deal. You know, give me a second here. Okay. All right. How do I share this? Okay. 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 We're okay now. All right. So we're good. We good. We in motion. Everything's in motion, y'all. We have the wonderful, beautiful Dell Senior is in the building with us. Great to have you as always. And the same for the lovely Luna Cascade. She said, not gonna catch me slipping. Hello, family. Okay, we here early. Y'all here early. Yes, indeed. Demo is in the building with us. Hey, summer girl. How's the beautiful summer girl doing? She said, good evening, family. Hope everyone is having a great weekend. Yes, we are. Yes, indeed. We got Jerry Bartels in the building. How you doing? Good to see you as always. Who else is here with us? We have the Chocolate Thunder in the building. Shout out to the beautiful Chocolate Thunder is here with us rocking. You know what I mean? We got Petty Gibbs is in the building. Slice like a Ginsu. Yes, indeed. With the vibe I put in you. You dig what I'm saying, Paul? You know what I mean? We got Leah is in the building with us. Hey, hey. Good to see you. Yes, who else is here? We have Matt Gonzalez in the building. Good to have you, fam. The Chocolate Thunder is a member. Yes, indeed. Let me hold $20 to tomorrow, Elgin. Yeah. Who else? Kayla is here. Kayla's here. What's going on, Kayla? Good to see you. I think you guys might know why I have this picture up right here. If you saw my video today, then you probably know why I have this picture up here. I thought it was real crazy. When I noticed it, I wrote it down immediately. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they hear me loud and clear. They hear me loud and clear. That's what's up. 1 2 1 2. We hear you. 1 2 1 2. Okay, who else is in here with us? Did I skip anybody? I ain't skip nobody. We got 5150 source. 5150 source. Crazy swordfish, pretty much. Is that you in the beginning? Yes, it is. Yes. You mentioned making beats in the video. Yes. Yes, I did. You know what I'm saying? That's Reels getting busy on the mic. Yes, it is. Just found this channel literally today. I just subscribed and saw that you're live. Your From Breakdowns are next level, man. I appreciate the love, and we are happy to have you aboard. Yes, indeed. What did y'all, for everybody that saw the video, what did you think? What did you think of the video? I know it was late. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we are glad. You know what I'm saying? What did y'all think of the video? You know? Was I dropping some heat? You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think. I just tell you what I see. You know what I'm saying? Late but always on time, Kayla said. Yeah, I was super late. I mean, like today late. But it's all good. I had a lot of stuff to do. You know what I'm saying? You gotta pay the bills. Gotta pay the bills sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Not well, you gotta pay them all the time, but you know what I mean. You know? So work related stuff. Got a lot done. You know what I'm saying? I'm transitioning into a new situation very soon here. Not necessarily all shits and giggles, but making a transition with the channel. We're going to be doing some real fire shit real soon. Stay tuned. Who else is in the building with us? Okay, so we good. So, how about this letter here? These letters. Was I reaching with this? Let me know if you think I was reaching with this. You know what I'm saying? With these letters here. Let me know if you think I was reaching with this. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what if you've seen the video, you probably know what I'm talking about. Talking about Fatima's Gullam. you know, there was a lot that I didn't even talk about in the video that are in my notes that we can talk about this evening. You know what I'm saying? I noticed a lot of stuff, even just came up on some stuff yesterday talking about it. But episode 5 is definitely my favorite. I'm ready for episode 6. Hopefully, also the religions line up. Yes. Yes. The Hebrew letters. Yes, indeed. The Hebrew letters. The bars caught me off guard. I wasn't prepared to hear some heat like that. Deep Chocolate Thunder. I feel like you've been here long enough to know that my pen game is crazy. Like, if I all of my videos are literally raps. You might not catch it and hear it in every line, but it was definitely a rap before I refined a few words to make it fit the subject matter. That's how I made it through school. Whenever I had a report to write, I just wrote a rap and changed the rhyming words so it didn't rhyme anymore. Pulled the thesaurus out, and that's how I got by. Sounds funny, but it's the truth. Yes, indeed. Hey, we got Debbie, Yebby, Bo Bebby, Banana Fana, Fofebi to the FIFA, Momebi. Debbie is in the building with us. It's always good to have sis. Yes, indeed. Nothing's a reach with these shows. Hold on, maybe I should share something different. Hold on, let me get the video up real quick. I should just pull it up from my document instead of even worrying about doing it like that. Okay, yeah, we'll watch
me
it.
At 3 in the morning in my
Oh, nah, I can't watch it on there. So we'll just pull it up on YouTube, y'all. No problem. No biggie. Okay. All right, let's we're getting this open here. Yo, this hiatus was kind of dope actually. Because what it's done for sure is it has built up an anticipation like we have never witnessed from before. They've never like straight shot us like this on, in the mid season. And so it's built up a anticipation that I'm not quite used to when it comes to watching a season of From. And if the episode 6 lives up to episode 5, then the hiatus was well granted, or I should say well received. You see what I'm saying? But let me share this real quick, y'all. Let's share this video right fast. Okay. Okay. All right, hold on. Let's get this out the way. I'm going to play jokes and all. We're going to stop it and talk a little bit too. Only a few hours away. That's right. That's right, Miss Wins. Miss Wenzel. Is that what that is? But you're right. Only a few hours away. Not even hours. Like 1 hour and some change away. You know what I'm saying? We got Papa Socks in the building. Papa Socks, if we open up the lines tonight, make sure you write so you can come on up and holler like you was trying to holler last live. Definitely wanted to hear what you had to say for sure. You know what I'm saying? You reminded me of me trying to get my mom to use her Apple remote. like you was having some difficulties over there. You know what I'm saying? But nah, you'll get it right this time if we open those lines up. You know what I mean? Let's let's turn this music down a little bit and get right into it. Okay. Me at 3 in the morning in my office making beats while my wife tries to get me to come to bed.
No!
Also, me after 10 hours in the lab cooking up beats. Gotta stop it right there and just let you know that it is definitely fire when I'm cooking up beats for 10 hours. Like, I'm coming out the lab with some heat, hands on fire, everything. Like, so let's go. Welcome to Real Enigmas and Theories. Spoilers ahead if you're not caught up to season 4, episode 5. Let's get right into this. Right off the bat, they pick up right where we left off at the cabins with the Cabbage Patch Freybargers, or the Scarecrows. Now, this was something I talked about in season 3, and to see this materializing was fire. Now, I dropped some jewels about the Cabbage Patch Fairy, or the Le Fay Enchant film from 1896 by Alice Guy in this video right here. Okay, yo, so this, I wanted to stop it right here because this is definitely something. The deviled eggs look good. Oh, yes, indeed. It looked good when it was cooking through on this episode too. You feel me? But this was a part here that I definitely wanted to talk about 12. And I took that out of the video and I said, well, maybe I could take this part out and we could talk about it in the live stream. But back in season 3, I talked about the 12, the dozen, Henry saying he owes the cops a dozen, Tabitha being on the 12th floor of the hospital. I talked about all the symbolism with the, and how that tied into the egg symbolism and also the Vesica Pisces symbolism. So, I just felt like, them putting her on that egg platter was symbolic of what was actually done to her. A deviled egg is boiled and peeled. You peel the skin off the shell off the deviled egg, and then you scoop the insides out and you fill it back up and you redress it. And that's why deviled eggs are called dressed eggs. You know what I'm saying? Um, Deviled egg is actually a slang terminology for them because they're not deviled. Deviled is when you take something and you add spice to it, like a deviled ham, you know. But deviled eggs are really called dressed eggs. But deviled egg is pretty much what they did to Tien Chen. They tore her skin off, they scooped her insides out, and then I believe it was Jade, Christy, and Sarah brought some clothes and they redressed her. And they literally put her picture on in a deviled egg plate. Now, what's funny about this is I went in the Wayback Machine and actually looked up the actual plate that the set designers found on eBay. And this was it. And I mean, this is an old plate too. They got like some vintage shit for this show, for sure. Let's cook. In that same video, I also talked. There is the deviled egg plate from me going back into the Wayback Machine and finding the actual plate that they used in this episode. You know what I'm saying? Episode 2 of season 3. This is the actual plate they used. This is the plate they bought. They paid $18.55 for it. It's a 1950s Anchor Hocking. Okay, so Jade also saying that he wanted Boyd to be his anchor. All of the boat symbolism that was in this episode. I also wanted to talk about the rope symbolism, and I didn't get a chance to talk about that either. But let's cook. About how the monsters eat the organs of the travelers. And in this video, I even posed the question if Boyd had bear witness to them eating the organs of T and Chen. And speaking of Boyd, did he witness the slow walkers eating the organs of T and Chen? I spoke about the cabbage. Now, eating the organs is something that I have been theorizing for a long time. And we still haven't got a real clear, definite answer on what happens or who eats the organs. We have seen the man in yellow eating, or Yeller McNasty. We have seen him eating uh, a liver of someone's liver. You know what I'm saying? The person we saw him eating the liver was not Miranda. My question is, did he eat all of those people that were out there? I mean, man, that's a lot of eating to do. And then how did he catch them all? How did they all end up like out in the road or whatnot? You know, what really happened? That massacre has not really been clear. Then they threw a real curveball in this episode when they talked about, when they showed us Christopher actually playing the violin. We all thought that it was Victor's mother who played the violin. Yo, what if we find out that Christopher was actually the one playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star to Victor? You know what I'm saying? What if Victor's memories are that fucked up to where, he didn't know what was going on? Because now our understanding is that Chris, his throat was slit. And so if his throat was slit, then what was the bad thing that he did? He wasn't torn up. He was killed by some of the townspeople. So something happened where, they snapped out on him. You know what I mean? And we see, we're getting a little clarity in here a little bit, because according to Victor, his mother didn't know the children were in the tower. But according to Henry, Victor's mother knew about the children in the tower. She made bottle trees. She had paintings. She did all of this shit before she even got to Frumlin. And so it's just strange that it doesn't seem that Victor remembers any of that situation with his mom knowing, but he does remember his mom coming into the information by way of what he told her that the boy in white told Christopher. So Victor never said what Christopher actually did. He just said that he did the bad thing. What was the bad thing? And now I think what the bad thing was him playing the song on the violin. And that's probably what the bad thing was that brought about the calamities that we see in the 1978 pictures or the flashbacks. So Soul Taker said Victor's mom cut his throat. I don't know. Maybe that could be a possibility. Maybe she did do that. I don't know. But what I surmise happened is that Miranda and Christopher comes to the realization that they are reincarnated, and just like Jade and Tabitha did, they came to the realization. People found out, they started hating them, they ended up killing Christopher. I could see that totally happening, because whatever Christopher did was very vague from Victor's perspective throughout the whole entire season 2, season 3. We didn't know anything about Christopher. We didn't know anything about Miranda. We didn't know anything about Eloise in season 1 at all. All of those things were fairly new. Victor forgot he had a whole sister. So I'm really, you really can't trust anything that Victor says or remembers. However, when it comes to this man in yellow situation, he doesn't seem to be too upset about what he saw. I think he's numb to it by now. But we'll see. Let's cook. Patch dolls and the ideal of living dolls in Frumlin, along with the ventriloquist doll and the necromancy of speaking from the belly. And now we have Fatima erecting a golem. More on that later. But one of the biggest takeaways from this section of the story is that Tabitha recalled the dolls and the man's dreams right in front of the woman who just had half her face burnt off by the scarecrow. Yo, and I want to definitely ask you guys this. I definitely want to talk about this. Patty she's going to snitch. She's going to tell everybody she can that Tabitha knew about these dolls, knew about these giant dolls. She knew how to kill them. They got her face. She's telling. She's telling. Just look at her face right there. She's got the face of somebody right there that if the shit went down, she's gonna tell. Yes. And I see somebody in there said she's gonna tell. Yes, she's gonna tell. She gonna tell. I don't even need to put the apostrophe S on this shit. Patty a snitch, you heard? She is going to tell. And this is indicative of what I was just talking about when it comes to Miranda and Christopher and the people finding out what was going on with them. Just think, Christopher said everything lies here. Why would he say that? If the boy in white said that the children are in the tower, we already know that the boy in white was lying about that. But what else could be a lie? Maybe Christopher thought that this memory that he had of being reincarnated, maybe he thought that shit was a lie and he got pissed off and he couldn't deal with it. And, you know, people heard or learned that these people were reincarnated and they killed Christopher. You know, according to Jade's younger self, that's what happened to them. That's what happened to all the people. They were killed. You know what I'm saying? If you were Patty, wouldn't you? You know what? I'm going to keep it a beanbag with you. Yeah. If I was there and some shit went down like that, and Donna's sitting here trying to keep it a secret that this woman knows some shit, and I find out that she knows some shit, we're in front. What you going to do? I'm going to tell. I'm going to say something about, like, yeah, I'm going to say something too. But she looks like she's going to tell out of being butthurt. You know, I probably wouldn't even tell. I would probably try to get with the people that do know and find out more and be like, hey, look, I know about the girl having visions. Go on ahead and fill me into the rest of the shit. Tell me what's going on so I could be on page with y'all real quick. The rest of the people seem like NPCs in this show, though. Like, they don't seem like they have really much to offer. They seem like laborers. They act like laborers. They're always carrying bags around. Everybody's always walking around with a bag or something. You always see somebody doing some sort of work, laboring in the garden or doing something of that nature. You know what I'm saying? These people seem more like NPCs, making all of the same movements together, all that type of shit. You know, I think that now Roger was dead ass wrong for pulling on that rope, right? But I still feel like Ellis leaving him behind was crazy as hell. You know, hey, fuck it. I'm just be real with you. It's the way he left him behind. It's not that he left him and ran. It's that he shut the door. He was like, fuck that. Y'all in here. And she knows that her friend Roger was deleted by one of them. And young Jade said that when the people found out about Jabitha's reincarnation situation, they blamed them. And I brought Jabitha back. Y'all know before the reincarnation shit, I've been calling them Jabitha, Jade and Tabitha. I have been calling them Jabitha since season 2. And then to come to find out that they were reincarnated lovers, crazy. That was crazy for me. So I had to bring the Jabitha back because I feel that at this point right now, it's confirmed that they are reincarnated. This place is not lying to them as far as that's concerned. Tabitha's remembering things. Jade is remembering things that they would not have known unless they had been to this place before in some form or fashion. And she's literally remembering what these totems were for and that they're used to kill those Freyboggers or those scarecrows. So I believe that it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, look at Ellis's face right here. Like, yeah, he about to fuck somebody up. But why does Roger look like he's laughing right here? Like, what the fuck is up? Then they took it out on both of them due to their connection to this place. Now, when they were in the post office, Boyd asked the few who knew about this to keep it from the rest of the travelers. And now Patty knows that Tabitha has this information. And I'm thinking that Donna will ask her to keep it on the hush. But after Roger getting pulled apart, I think she'll be telling everything that she knows that went down. And speaking of that, Ellis ain't shit for leaving Roger the way he did. I mean, he already pussied out by running, but did he really have to shut the door behind him like this? I mean, this was crazy. If he really have to shut the door behind him like this, I mean, him shutting the door like that is wild. I don't give a fuck if you think Roger deserves to die for pulling on the rope and talking shit to Tabitha. But Roger was kind of right. Like, Roger was like, look, you might be the leader out there at Colony House, but out here, we got to say so and shit. Donna had to bring him back down to reality. But he's right. He's got a point. Like, you know, you motherfuckers are keeping shit from us. Obviously. You're obviously keeping shit from us. You keep pulling Tabitha over to the corner. I'm seeing the little faces that Tabitha's making as she's remembering shit. She knows something. Y'all are not telling us. I feel like Roger had a right to be pissed off about that. If you find out that a motherfucker is just calling out what's about to happen with these scarecrows and shit like that, like, how the fuck does she know all of this? I want to know. I would want to know too. Real shit. It was crazy. And for real, that's just another splinter in the wood that'll drive a wedge between these travelers. And I think Donna might have pissed them off too by cutting a hole in the shirt to see if they had a heart. Yo, when Donna stabbed this creature or puppet or doll or whatever you want to call it, when she stabbed it with the knife, this means something, y'all. This right here definitely means something. It was just too, it looked like she was performing a sacrifice ritual or something on it. It didn't look like she was just trying to dig in there and find out something. It looked like she it looked like she had some information. It looked like she knows something. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking maybe, because think about it, right? What could she have been thinking? Okay. So the only thing that I think that Donna could have been thinking is that it must have been some humans that they put inside these dolls or something. So why would you stab it in the heart like that to find out if that was what it was? Why, if you were trying to find out if somebody was in there, what would you do that for? Like, it doesn't seem like something you would actually do. It seems like you would try to maybe like cut the mouth open and see if, there's a head in there. Either even just feel around to see if you feel any human body bones and shit like that or anything like that. But this stab means something, y'all. And I'm telling you, there might still be a price to pay for her doing that. Just keep your eyes on that. There might still be a price to pay. And every time people come into different knowledge and understanding about things, there's always a price to pay or a cost. So we'll see what this cost is. And I think it's going to play out really fast. I remember the episode synopsis said something about them going back to town and giving the news, giving the bad news. Now, in my theory video, I thought that Ethan was going to be taken by one of these things. You know what I'm saying? And I thought that the bad news was going to be, them going back to say, hey, we got to find Ethan. He's been taken by these fucking big creatures or whatever. That's what I thought it was going to be. That would have been some real turn up shit right there, but that didn't happen. What we got was cool, though. You know what I'm saying? What we got was definitely cool. We see the nature of these creatures. They kind of like to play like the monsters. You know what I mean? The one monster took the girl Patty's face and put it in the damn fire. You know what I'm saying? So it was playing with her. It wasn't just, and they got them big, mean, nasty looking teeth just like the monsters do. So there's something definitely up with that. Obviously, these creatures are not humans that made a deal with some sort of entity to become immortal, right? So why do they share some of those same features? It could just be a design choice. I think we'll find out later. I think these things are still running around out there. And I think if you take that totem out of that doll, it can possibly come back to life. Those were my thoughts in there. You know, I just didn't know how I wanted to put it into the video, but I did. I'm looking at my notes here, and this is where I'm going. So my notes are kind of running along with the video, and so that's why I'm sitting you here and making you watch a video you probably already watched before. But there's some extra commentary to go along with. So let's cook. And with those things still running around out there, I think there still might be a price to pay. And then Tabitha reinforced the narrative by saying that she remembered how to hurt those things right in front of Patty. So I think she's definitely going to tell what she knows when she gets back. I mean, Elgin did say that the truth would come out. And I mean, it's not like Tabitha's going to go back to the town and say,
I was Joan of Arc in my former life.
I also found it interesting that Tabitha had the recollection
In my former life.
I also back to the town and say,
I was Joan of Arc in my former life.
I also found it interesting. Yo, only real ones know where that clip comes from. If you know where that clip comes from, throw the title in the chat. That shit, when I thought about putting that in there, I laughed my ass off. You know what I'm saying? I write all my scripts. I don't use no AIs or no shit like that. I don't use AI to edit my videos. I do all my own editing, my voiceover editing, and all of that stuff I do myself. And it's very time consuming. But I tell you, it took me 5 minutes to get over it when I decided to put that clip in there. And then when I put it in there and it actually worked like that, it landed. I laughed for a good 5 minutes. That's why the video was even a little bit later. And say,
I was Joan of Arc in my former life.
I also found it interesting that Tabitha had the recollection about the totems in the same place that Ethan buried that bird. And my thing about the bird was how. Hey, yo, wait a minute. Hold on. Yo, I see some real ones in the chat, the Coming to America clip. You can never go wrong with a Coming to America clip. That's right. You can never go wrong. I mean, there's so many clips from that movie that I could have thrown in here, but that one was one where I was just like, yeah, Tabitha's not going to go back and tell them what the fuck happened. She's not, you know what I'm saying? She's not going to go start telling them about past life. But I had to stop the presses again real quick for Sprinkle Kitty. Sprinkle Kitty's in the building with us. She said, Grace Jones. Nah, sis. Nah, sis. Yo, that's funny as shit, yo. That's funny. That is what's funny about that is that reminds me of the movie Boomerang right away because Eddie Murphy, Grace Jones was in Eddie Murphy Boomerang, and that whole situation with Grace Jones is hilarious from that movie. But no, you a real one. Fatima, she's a real one. I saw Luna Cascade in there. Kayla came through. Yes, indeed. Somebody said, what time is the episode releasing? If you have the MGM app or the MGM subscription directly through MGM, it'll be at 12:01. If you have it through Prime, I believe it'll be at 3 a.m. You know what I'm saying? Don't quote me on that, but I know for a fact that MGM is 12:01. You know what I mean? We should get I think they should do something for us for giving us that hiatus out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I like the twin sisters though. Yeah, you talking about the ones that was rapping. Oh yeah, Peter Griffin, what's up, bro? I ain't see you in a while up in this motherfucker. Yo, Chosen Empath coming to America is a real one. Oh, Oh, Eddie movie. Yeah, yes indeed. The speed dating. Yeah, that shit was hilarious. Definitely a classic movie, y'all. Definitely classic. How did it die? I mean, it just had a broken wing. And my collection about the totems in the same place that Ethan thing that Tabitha.
I was Joan of Arc in my former life.
I also found it interesting that Tabitha had the recollection about the totems in the same place that Ethan buried that bird. And my thing about the bird was, how did it die? I mean, it just had a broken wing. I remember noticing Sophia's broken arm and the bird's broken wing at the same time. And I'm wondering if her remembering how to hurt the scarecrows by the bird's grave is foreshadowing somebody remembering how to hurt the man in yellow. And if the bird's death foreshadows Sophia's death. I mean, it's just something to think about. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on the the symbolic location of the bird's burial being the same place where Tabitha recalled the purpose of the totems? And do the totems hold another purpose as Yo, Debbie Bo Bebby said, take these broken wings. yo, the bird was a sacrifice. Yo, Ray be going crazy hard on the characters, yo. Everyone's evil. Everyone's a bad guy, even little Ethan. He said Ethan killed the bird. Damn. Yo, and learn to fly again. Yeah, Captain Shriver, what's going on? He's in the building with us. Yo, that shit's hilarious. Yo. Take these broken wings and learn to fly again. Yo, that's how it be. Sometimes you see some shit and it just reminds you of a song and you just start singing the hook to that shit. You know what I mean? Yo, who else is there? I see y'all piling. Oh, okay, we got 110 people in the building. Jessica's in the building. Hold on, I see we got a couple. Oh, Fatima. See, I'm saying Fatima. Fatima. Yo, she said, I'm a little late, but I'm showing some love. Thank you for the super chat and your generosity, fam. You not late. You right on time. You right on time. I was late. This video's late. My live stream almost was late. Man, I said, baby, let's go to the store real quick. We went to the store. She's like, you gonna be back for the live stream? I was like, yeah, man, I'm sitting here pushing it like 10 minutes until. Yo, so I was just late all the way around. Chill. Go ahead. And this is the thing about this episode that I found really interesting. It was the duality between Jade and Tabitha's journey of recollection. One goes on this shamanic between Jade and Tabitha's journey of recollection. Interesting. It was the duality between Jade and Tabitha's journey of recollection. It was the... Hey, yo, check this out, right? This right here, listen to this part of the video. I'm not going to stop it. I'm going to let it cook for this one point that I made. It was just about the storytelling, the editing, the different feelings and emotions that they put into it. I really think that when Jack Bender says the symbolism will only get you but so far, this is what he was talking about. The level of storytelling and how they ripped this episode, every episode in the series pales in comparison to it. The duality. Let me just let what my point was made here. Death foreshadows Sophia's death. I mean, it's just something to think about. And this is the thing about this episode that I found really interesting. It was the duality between Jade and Tabitha's journey of recollection. One goes on this shamanic mushroom trip to find out answers, and the other one uses objects and circumstances to jog the memories of her dreams as a little girl. And it's deep to realize that Tabitha was having dreams of her reincarnated self as a child, and Jade's memories are getting rekindled by the child version of himself. I mean, you had Jade's younger self playing music, Henry playing music, the music with the scarecrows, the singing that they heard outside, and that made Tabitha remember. And then you had Mary reliving the music box situation. them having the from musical elements in each one of the arcs in this episode was really dope. You had Mary being a recovering addict, reliving her trauma and grief. Then you had Henry being an alcoholic, stashing moonshine and getting shit-faced to process his trauma and grief. Jade's on a mushroom trip while Tabitha reflects on a sober recollection. And both of those feminine aspects are sober while the masculine aspects are high and drunk. And with that balance being Fatima was struggling between the need to feel powerful and that connection to Smiles Davis. I mean, the balance in the storytelling and the editing of this episode was fire. And to top it off with a dope twist about the basement at Colony House and the tunnels and the reveal of Jade's journey actually being a hallucination while he was at the post office the whole time, all of this was a ride for me. And knowing this story like I do and seeing the way that this episode played out with the way it was filmed and edited made it my favorite episode of the series so far, aside from the pilot episode that got us all hooked. Now, that's what I'm talking about right there. Like, the way that this episode played out with the dualities, you had Mari or Marielle, who is actually a recovering addict, and she was dealing with her trauma, and she was being real shut off, real closed. She didn't want to tell them what happened. She didn't want to get or gain the pity of Christy. She didn't want any of that. But then on the other hand, you had Henry, and he's an alcoholic who was also dealing with his trauma and grief. And he wanted to be real open. He went out into the day room and began to play the song, you know, Leaving on a Jet Plane, and you know, singing and just being very vulnerable around everyone, crying, you know, yelling at his son, yelling at Kenny. He literally had to be carried off, and so he needed to go sleep that off. These two storylines were not the main part. The main part was Tabitha's journey and Jade's journey, right? And them having these recollection periods. But what was so dope about that was that this was the side story, and they had that element wrapped into it, while they also showed Jade high on the mushrooms for his recollection. But then they showed Tabitha, she's sober while she's trying to indulge her child and help her child heal. She's out there having those recollections at the same time. The dualities that they were swinging at us with this episode was so crazy. Then you get Fatima's storyline was right in the middle, and she's got this big golem. Like, we seen her start off with a muddy pud of mud on the floor, and now she's erected this giant golem that's taller than her in the room. And it just served as like that middle part of the scale, like the Libra scale. It was just like the middle part, her story and how she's trying to feel strong by creating this thing to protect her. Yo, the way they wrote that, what the fuck are we even talking about? What episode is better than that in this entire series? Like, I mean, the storytelling is great. I think episode 7, 107 was great. The pilot episode is the episode that got us all hooked. But they really got in their bag on this episode, folks. Like, the editing, the way they put it together, they really got in their fucking bag. And I think they're going to be in that bag for the entire rest of this season. And I think that's a consolation for me, because I mean, I was really bummed out about the first 4 episodes, but here we are. They came through with the silver lining on that dark cloud. Let's cook. Now, the realization of the figures in Jade's hallucinations being his past lives was something that none of these channels predicted. I could be wrong, but if I am, send me the video. I'd love to see it.
I need receipts.
That revelation. And yo, I definitely want to know if anybody had figured that out, that Jade was seeing his past lives. let me know. I mean, they revealed to us that Christopher was one of his past lives, but I had no clue. And what somebody said in here, Bill Chill's in the building with us. He said, "Hey yo, Jade was a black man." I had no clue they were going to throw that one at us. I had no clue that he was going to be the guy in the boulder, under the boulder, and or any of that. Now, I thought that was an amazing twist. I think it was real dope how they had them playing on the porch together. They looked very robotic. I have to say that they did look very robotic. What if they were mechanical? Does anyone in the chat think they were mechanical? Most likely, if you're over here on this channel, we deal with a lot of symbolism, mysticism, things of that nature. You probably don't think that way. But at least can we agree that they looked very mechanical as they were playing together, especially Chris and the Puritan guy, because we could see their legs. I don't know what the fuck the direction choice was with this boulder. Somebody just said, what are we going to do with this guy here under the boulder? They said, just put the fucking violin on the rock. He's going to be all right. The scene will work. It's going to be fine. You know what I'm saying? That's a heavy fucked up way to die. Like, like, that's some real fucked up way to go. But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? Does anybody in the chat think that these guys are mechanical? Now, I'm asking you, that's some Kier bullshit. Exactly. Do you guys think that these things are mechanical? Or do you think that or can we just agree that they were moving in a mechanical nature? You know what I'm saying? Let me know in the chat if you think that. Shout out to my man Tony. He talks about the mechanical and scientific aspects of theory crafting as far as From is concerned. And if he's out there listening, this would be a definite dope clue that there could be some kind of mechanical shit going on. He said that when it's all said and done, somebody's going to chop one of those faraway trees down and we're going to see wires inside of the trunk. That would be a crazy fucking reveal. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be mad at it either way. You know what I mean? But let me know what you think. They were moving very mechanical. See the chocolate thunder, but not mechanical. They were moving mechanical, but not. They were moving in a mechanical nature. I'm sure we can agree there. I'm sure we can all agree there. Regardless of what, your theories are, I'm sure we can agree with they did look mechanical. Revelation of Jade's past lives definitely adds credence to a thread of symbolism that I've been talking about since season 2 on this channel, and that's the Vesica Pisces. Now, I have shared an image on the live streams before with you guys. It wasn't fully done. It's still not fully done. But yes, synchronized is the word. Synchronized. Yes. You know what I'm saying? They were definitely synchronized. They were very synchronized. But not only were they synchronized, it looked mechanical to me. It definitely looked mechanical as far as like the way that they moved. You know what I'm saying? You can be in sync and not look mechanical like that. I don't understand why he would be seeing something looking like that if he's having a mushroom trip. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of gave me Cabin in the Woods vibe. I don't know if you guys saw Cabin in the Woods movie, but we'll see. We'll see. The very first Vesica Pisces clue was the name or title Mr. Fish and Loaves given to us in episode 108. And that was our first flashback episode. And that was the name that the writers really wanted us to focus on, being that it was Boyd and his family first presenting that title in unison right before arriving to Frumland. Yes, yo. They look like the puppets from Chuck E. Cheese. I'm not going to hold you, and y'all know that I feel like this is ancient deities. I feel like this is multiple different schools of religious thought where people were fighting these things and using different things from different arsenals that they brought to America. And, I even show you that I said that last season, and I've been saying that since season 2, actually. And I show you one of the videos in this video. But I'm one that thinks that this is, mystic. You know what I'm saying? Mysteriously mystic. You know, however, I I can't I can't lie to myself about what my own eyes are seeing. Them motherfuckers was moving like the Chuck E. Cheese dolls, animatronics. They was moving like Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, let's just keep it a buck.
Mr. Fish and Loaves. That's right.
Before arriving. Why would they name this character Mr. Fish and Loaves if they didn't want you to think about the Vesica Pisces? Arriving to Frumlin.
Mr. Fish and Loaves. That's right.
The Fish and Loaves story is a Jesus story from the book of Matthew. The Vesica Pisces with the wagon wheels, the painting in Henry's basement that mirrors the symbol in the cave drawings, and countless other Vesica Pisces references. Then we get another one from Young Jade when he says the minnows in the shark's net, which is a reference to the net and fish form created by the Vesica Pisces. The net and fish form has been shown to us many times on the show as well, even at the lighthouse and when Donna tells Boyd about the food shortage. And Jade hears this in French and repeats it back in English while in the presence of Mr. Fish and Loaves. And this indicates that it's something that Jade wanted Boyd to hear because he was just going back and forth in French with his younger self. All of a sudden, he felt the need to repeat this in English. And Boyd is also the one who encountered the spiders, and they showing up real heavy in this episode during Jade's journey. And all of this connects to the scene with Marielle, Christy, and Sophia, and we'll get to that in a minute. And Jade came into town in an Audi, which is also a Vesica Pisces logo. And earlier in this season, I started working on a visual that would explain my theory on how the reincarnation, the time travel, the bloodline, and the vision. I love this because Jesus and Jade was floating in the Brundles. I'm a Jesus, and you meant in a Jesus pose. Okay. I don't think that was necessarily a Jesus pose. Again, I have to kind of give this one to the Da Vinci pose, like the Da Vinci man pose. I forget what it's actually called. There's another pose like that as well. But did you notice that when Ellis put the dolls back in the water, one of the dolls were like that as well? So I think we'll start seeing that symbolism again. Frum has a way of throwing these threads out there. As a matter of fact, the way he was posing was also very much like the symbol that Debbie Ebby Bo Bebby is talking about right here, the fancy X symbol. So that, Jade was in an X symbol. You know what I'm saying? The Frey Bogart was as well. Luna said, real, when you pointed out that Jade's car is an Audi, pointing out the Audi car symbol, my mind was blown. Damn, you caught that? I got to give that credit to Debbie Ebby Bo Bebby. When I was talking about the Vesica Pisces last season, she pointed out that he was in an Audi. Yes, she did tell me that. So shout out to her for that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yo, Vigo definitely got the eyes of an old soul. Yo, he does. He's a phenomenal actor. That little kid is crazy with it. He was in the Institute, and as the moment they brought him on the scene, he stole every scene he was in. Even when they had him like as a little docile, when they was taking and harnessing his power and stuff like that. Yeah, when they put him back there with all them other people, same shit. Like, that kid can act his ass off. You know what I'm saying? We definitely got to talk about that later. Visions work with the sharks or the main characters. And I thought that the best way to depict this would be with the Vesica Pisces. So check out this image right here. And young Jade said that the men Jade saw were a few of many lives that Jade has lived. So that means there are more. Now, the large brown circle would be the constant cycle of all events tied to the bloodline. Let me zoom in a little bit on this red circle and explain my thoughts on how this works, and then we can move forward with the whole diagram. Now, let's just say this red circle represents Jade and Tabitha in their timeline when, the Matthews and Boyd and all of them show up. And the reason why this would be a circle is because they're in a loop and they're all repeating this cycle over and over again. The reason why Martin knew Julie's name, the monsters knowing all of their names, the reason why they knew the ambulance was coming, the reason why Victor paints things that before they actually happen, all of this is because it's recurring events in this particular timeline or in this circle. I've explained this in previous videos, but I've never broken it down with this image right here. Now, this is the same for Miranda and Christopher, which is represented by the yellow circle and the other timelines, so on and so forth. Each of these circles overlap with at least two of the previous circles, and that's why Jade is able to tap into the visions of his previous selves while in this particular cycle. Now, during each respective cycle, things may happen slightly different, but the same level of events repeat over and over again. Ethan thinks he made up the Lake of Tears, but he actually remembers it from being there before. Nathan's fears of cicadas wasn't made real in this place. He was there before, and that's why he had a fear of them. Just like the man who threw the dolls in the water was having those dreams because he too had experienced them before, and that's why he was having the dream. His circle, along with the little girl that Tabitha was dreaming about, would be one of these colors right here, probably the last one or the earliest one. So this red circle right here is Jade and Tabitha's. The yellow circle is Miranda and Christopher's timeline when the man in yellow shows up to Victor in the car. The guy under the boulder might be the green circle. Then the Civil War guy would be the blue circle, and the purple circle would be the Puritan guy with the skull. And I'm thinking the little girl in Tabitha's dream could be the orange circle, or it could be one of these other circles. But I think who we're calling the man in yellow or Sophia is actually an entity that changes form each one of these circles. And each time he's brought out by Jade playing the violin, and that's why we see all of them playing the violin on the porch. Now, this is why we're seeing so much Vesica Pisces symbolism, and this is why they made such a broad point to give the title of Mr. Fish and Loaves. They made such a broad, seeing so much Vesica Pisces violin on the porch. Violin, and that's... I'm backing this up real quick a little bit to look at them playing the violin. This is the mechanical movement here. I'm pretty sure we can all agree that it looks mechanical. Why we see all of them playing the violin on the porch. Now, this is why we're seeing so much Vesica Pisces symbolism, and this is why they made such a broad point to give the title of Mr. Fish and Loaves to the main character. Jeff Pinkner and Jack Bender said that John Griffin had 4 entire walls covered with lore and explanation for this show. And I'm willing to bet that he has a diagram that's something like this on one of those walls for sure. I mean, the title Mr. Fish and Loaves is literally a reference to the Jesus fish, which is created by the Vesica Pisces. Now, the trippy part was the realization that Jade was just at the post office bugging out the whole time by himself. And I thought that was such a brilliant touch. But it also makes me wonder if the tunnels are really there, and if so, who else knew about it? And don't think for a second that just because we saw Donna get attacked by the scarecrow, that means she isn't keeping some information from the people that nobody else knows. I think the fact that she survived got me wondering what happened after Abby snapped and Boyd had to zap her real quick, because Abby was about to pop Donna, and Boyd stopped that from happening as well. Yo, and I gotta say this, the fact that Donna lived through this right here tells us a lot, yo. Like, I mean, it doesn't tell us a lot. I know what it makes me think of. When's the last time you saw Donna about to lose her life? And that was when Abby had that gun at her. Because she had just popped all those people. And then and Donna was on the ground trying to help one of them. And she was about to pop Donna. And then Boyd comes behind her and says, "Hey, Abby, what's up?" And she turns around, they start singing and whatnot, and if I had a boat song and all that. And Ellis comes running around because he heard the commotion, and she turns around, gets ready to shoot Ellis. So Boyd saved Donna from Abby before, just like Tabitha saved Donna from this here creature. Think about it. She was about to pop Donna, and then Ellis runs up, and then Boyd definitely. Nah, you right. I could say that she's probably had many near deaths. I'm only talking about the ones that we actually saw. I don't even count Colony House Massacre as her almost dying because um because she was not really in any danger. She was able to get people out of danger. She was able to help. Um and the situation with Randall, I don't think anything was going to happen with that situation anyway. I think that I always thought that what was going to happen right there is exactly what happened. Like somebody was going to come save Donna in the nick of time. You know, um, Donna's got some more revelations for us. I hope. We'll see. I wonder how she's going to feel when she finds out that Boyd and Jade are probably going to be wanting to go down in Colony House and see if that door is down there, or see if those tunnels actually exist. I wonder how that she'll feel about that. I wonder if she'll push back against that. If she pushes back against that, then we're going to know that she's trying to keep people from something. And I think that'll be some sort of confirmation right there. Or if she tries to do something, or if anything happens to stop them from seeing what the hell's going on, then I think that maybe she knows something. But I'm not saying Donna's evil. I'm not saying she's a mole. I'm not saying she works for anybody like a higher up or any of that. I'm saying that from what we've seen from this character, she don't mind keeping shit away from the people, because I think she's realized that knowledge comes at a cost. And trying to push this place, it will push back. And she could possibly be the reason why she doesn't want to tell people certain things, is probably to protect them. Definitely had to zap her real quick. It makes me think about what happened after that incident. Who named Colony House, and why did they choose that name? It reminds me of a colony of spiders. Why did Jade's journey take him to Colony House and then to the basement where that creepy camera was found? Where did this kid get these fresh ass Vans from? And Jade drunk that blood from the skull, and then he saw them spiders coming out, and he was like, "Hey, yo, check out these boat oars in the basement, and then couple that with the canoes in the rendezvous calendar picture. Then you got Boyd's If I Had a Boat song." Okay. Hey, yo. I see y'all laughing at the Vans. Nah, for real, though. Where the fuck did he get fresh Vans from, yo? Like, isn't this the 12-year-old Jade? I know Vans have been out for a long time. Vans started off as a rubber company, and then they started making shoes. And then like around like the 70s, early 80s, they started catering to skaters, people using them for skateboarding and stuff like that. I know that, but Lil Homie's Vans was fresh. Like, what the fuck? Did he have did the 12-year-old Jade have some Vans in France? I mean, they didn't even make that design back then. That design is like some shit that came out in the late 90s or the early 2000s. Like, what the fuck happened there? I mean, they put the man in yellow in those shoes that look like wheat bread. So they could have put him in some 12-year-old French little boy looking shoes or something. Jade saying that he needed Boyd to be. Oh yeah, but I stopped it because of the boat oars in the basement and these two fucking overturned canoes in the rendezvous move poster. Like, here are your boat oars right here, you know, and I think I seen another boat oar. I think I saw a life jacket at one point on this show. I really got to dig back and pull out the magnifying glass now that we're in season 4. I really want to pull out the magnifying glass for the other 3 seasons again, like, and do like a real deep dive or a real, like, scrape it really bad this time, like go crazy with it, because we might see all kinds of things. I saw somebody posted a picture of one of Victor's drawings of the massacre, and they think that you could. I think that they think that it's a picture of the man in yellow eating somebody that Victor drew, but I think that it's a person with blonde hair. It looks to me like a woman with blonde hair. I looked at it really good, but we'll see. We'll see. Then couple that with the canoes in the rendezvous calendar picture. Then you got Boyd's If I Had a Boat song, Jade saying that he needed Boyd to be his anchor, the scarecrows being anchored down in the water, and Donna having the notion to re-anchor them down with rocks. Both of these journeys were sparked by Ethan's search for the Lake of Tears. Think about it. Yeller McNasty's jacket was found while Victor and Jade was helping Ethan to find the Lake of Tears. And that's when Jade found the mushrooms. Then you had Tabitha wanting to take Ethan along with Donna on the food trip to see if the Lake of Tears was at the cabins. And that was suggested to her by Jade telling her to indulge Ethan. And these two events were set in motion by the Jim ghost or Jim telling Ethan to find that lake. Yo, so now that we know what we know from episode 5 showed us 2 things happening at once with the most beautiful symmetry or non-symmetry, right? And the most beautiful duality, I should say. And when you look at it, Jim, or this ghost Jim, who's able to have physical contact with Ethan, who disappeared like a story walker, whose hair is looking like previous episodes, and along with his scar. The only thing is the beard, though, because his shit wasn't like that much. He didn't have that much beard going on when the scar was that fresh. Okay, when the scar was as fresh as what we see it on his forehead. But he's also looking around, and he disappears like a story walker. And and we know that it's not Jim Jim. It can't be Jim Jim. My grandmother used to have a cat named Jim Jim. Anyway, it can't be Jim Jim, because Jim Jim would have been like, look, Ethan, come on, let's go home. Let's, what are you doing out here by yourself? Let's go home. Let me get you home. Let's go home. He wasn't like that. It was almost like he knew what the situation was. And, he knew what the situation was, and he needed Ethan to go do something because of what the situation was. He told him to go find the Lake of Tears, right? Him telling him to do that is how Jade finds the mushrooms, is the reason why Tabitha said, hey, let's go out to the settlement because Ethan wants to find the Lake of Tears. That whole situation is because of this scene right here. And I love how it moves right into the story and it causes things to happen. That is great storytelling right there. Let's get back to it. Now, we have to circle back around and talk about the Vesica Pisces symbolism showing up with the Mary and Christy Sophia scene. So Christy and Mary are sitting there in the room talking, and Sophia pours a drink for Mary after touching her to induce that whole music box trance. And this is the first time that Mary actually shared what she saw when she was in that trance. And she stated that she was able to hear all of the screams of everyone who had died in this place. And Sophia calls her a prophet. Mary says that the people are stuck in there. And when I hear that, I automatically think about the net once again. But this reads right back to the Vesica Pisces symbolism with the fish in the net. And that symbolism reference to her being a witness to the trapped voices places her as a female receiver of the revelation between the living and the dead. And that immediately echoes Mary Magdalene's role after the resurrection of Christ. Then you have the Christy or Christ and the Marielle or Mary connection. And Christy even calls her Mary during that scene. So I looked in the comments just now and I saw somebody commenting about this part of my video. They said that Christy and Mari are lesbians, and so their situation has nothing to do with the biblical scripture. And I say this, right? What does that have to do with the writers naming them and the symbolism being right in front of our face? Right? And just because that is the biblical scriptures, that doesn't stop a writer from making those comparisons, naming the characters, creating a scene which will reveal that type of connection. Christy's name is Christy, and there's your Christ. Marielle, Christy literally calls her Mary. I'll even add something to it. She tells her to wait. She says, Mary, wait. Mary, wait. Okay. Jesus also told Mary and the disciples to wait and not leave Jerusalem at one point in time. He said, no, don't leave Jerusalem. You wait. And I believe in the Bible, it says, Mary, wait. Okay. So these types of nuances can be put into a show regardless of what your thoughts are about the scriptures and parameters of someone's religious beliefs. This show has a Persian girl who grew up with her father as a cleric, and she's creating a golem from Kabbalistic Jewish mysticism. So it doesn't matter what your thoughts are about a certain persuasion. These writers are putting these things right in front of our face. You know what I'm saying? If the person that made that comment is in the chat, no harm or anything like that, but I'm glad that I could say that here live because I just looked at that comment while this part was playing. It was ironic. And Mary is the first who saw Christ after the resurrection, and he instructed her to go tell the disciples that he was back. Not to mention the fact that Mary is claiming to hear the voices of everybody that has died in this place is putting her right as a communicator or a receiver of messages from the dead. That's what that is. The symbolism is right there in front of our face. And not to mention, if we want to talk about, shout out to Sprinkle Kitty, since we want to talk about a Christ pose, was not Mary's hands up in the shackles like a Christ pose? And so this is why I think I'm going to break, like every time I drop a video, I think I need to drop a video and go live and we talk about it. You know what I'm saying? We talk about some of the comments and everything. First disciple that she runs into is Peter, the fisherman, who also instructed her to go tell the disciples that he was back. And the first disciple that she runs into is Peter, the fisherman, who also represented in the Vesica Pisces story. Jesus even calls to Peter, saying that he will make him a fisher of. I believe in the book of Matthew, it was Peter who was feeding the people along with Jesus. And so Jesus, I say it right here, Jesus even calls to Peter and say, I'm going to make you a fisher of men. And so we have the literal Vesica Pisces figure, who is Jesus, talking to a fisherman of men. And in the book of Matthew, Peter was present during the fish and loaves story, feeding the people with the 2 fish. Now, this Christy or Christ and Mary symbolism makes me wonder what role she'll play in the story going forward. I'm thinking that she may be the first one to start having suspicions about Sophia. And I think she's right about there being something ancient in this place. But I don't think everyone is stuck there. Obviously, at the very least, Tabitha and Jade's souls have left there in order to have been reincarnated. However, I don't think everyone there is reincarnated, just the main players, and maybe some of the reoccurring characters. But the souls that are actually trapped there are the ones that are getting caught in the fray. Others are due to their bloodlines, and a selected few are reincarnated there because of the circumstances of that original sin. Because think about it, if the townspeople were turned into monsters by a deal that was made, then Jade and Tabitha would have had to die by the hands of the new townspeople, each cycle in their past lives besides that original sin where they tried to save their child. Also, in the book of Matthew, it is. I dropped the link in the chat for anybody who wants to join me for sure. We don't have too much time until this show comes on. Yes, indeed. Let's see here. Where they tried to save their child. Okay, so I definitely want to talk about that part. What are your thoughts on what I just said about the original sin and Jade and them trying to save their child, as opposed to every other time being killed by the townspeople? What are you guys' thoughts on that? That to me would scream and let it. I think Mary's scene telling us about the people being trapped and they never get to leave gives us some deep information, because obviously Tabitha and Jade were able to leave if their souls left and were reincarnated into other beings. Maybe it could mean that they left, but they always had to come back or something like that. You know what I mean? But let me know what your thoughts are on that situation. I'll run it back real quick. To monsters by a deal that was made, incarnated there because of the circumstance, and maybe some of the reoccurring characters. But the souls that are actually trapped there are the ones that are getting caught in the fray. Others are due to their bloodlines, and a selected few are reincarnated. Because think about it, if the townspeople were turned into monsters by a deal that was made, then Jade and Tabitha would have had to die by the hands of the new townspeople, each cycle in their past lives besides that original sin where they tried to save their child. Also, in the book of Matthew, it is said that Mary and the other Mary were sitting opposite of the tomb. Now, the other Mary that they're speaking of is the mother of James and Joseph. And I thought that it was very interesting, being that Jim is short for James, and it's in the book of Matthew.
D.
Now, let's talk about Fatima and her golem for a minute. Her giving rebirth to Smiles Davis was a horrid image that tests the mind past its normal limits. So it's no surprise to me that she wants to explore this tenet with the golem champion forged within it, like roots with hope poured in it, or a talisman with ancient symbols scored in it. In a previous video, I purposely missed this rhythm because I wasn't blitzed to give them that fifth dimension level of decoding Jewish mysticism. Not only is this notion worthy of lyricism, but it fits the schism of a pattern recognition system of ancient wisdom and sinning, something that I've been underpinning since this channel's beginning. Now, Fatima is the first to give us a Wizard of Oz reference in episode 102 when she took. Yo, those bars fucked me up, y'all. I have to run that back. If you don't mind, I gotta run that part back.
D.
Now let's talk about Fatima and her golem for a minute. Her giving rebirth to Smiles Davis was a horrid image that tests the mind past its normal limits. So it's no surprise to me that she wants to explore this tenet with the golem champion forged within it, like roots with hope poured in it, or a talisman with ancient symbols scored in it. In a previous video, I purposely missed this rhythm because I wasn't blitzed to give them that fifth dimension level of decoding Jewish mysticism. Not only is this notion worthy of lyricism, but it fits the schism of a pattern recognition system of ancient wisdom and sinning, something that I've been underpinning since this channel's beginning. Now, Fatima is the first to give us a Wizard of Oz reference in episode 102 when she took Julie to her room to see the moon through the window. And her being the green thumb that plants the endo that Julie used with Elgin before her first story walk crescendo. And she singled out something that I've been dropping on this channel since season 2. And in this video right here, I explain the Wizard of Oz references throughout the show and how it relates, but I also talked about the many religious schools of thoughts that are presented. This was in season 3, my Yellow Brick Road video. Now, these aren't the only undertones that connect these works of art. The various religious formalities in from, like the Hindu, Viking, Scottish, Christian, Hebrew, and all the other nuances that are scattered. Notice the Masonic handshake between Ethan and his father. The handshake that they did, and if there are any Masons in here, you know what I'm talking about. That was the lion's paw handshake. That was the lion's paw grip. Okay? Now, when I brought this up, just listen to what I'm saying. I dropped this video October 5th, 2024. Thoughts that are presented. This was in season 3, my Yellow Brick Road video. Now, these aren't the only undertones that connect these works of art. The various religious formalities in from, like the Hindu, Viking, Scottish, Christian, Hebrew, and all the other nuances that are scattered around the show. L. Frank Baum's father was heavily involved in Freemasonry, and he introduced his son to the esoteric and occult nature of secret societies. L. Frank Baum himself went on to join the Theosophical Society, which was founded by several occultists in 1875. Helena Blavatsky, Henry Steele Olcott, and William Quan Judge were amongst the 17. Much like the show, the Theosophical Society's beliefs are rooted in multiple religious schools of thought. Fromm displays this same notion with the subtle references to different religious clues and cultural nuances. Even the Masonic clues, like the Tyler who guards the door, Ellis in his pose. We have chessboards and 2 towers representing Joaquin and Boaz. Secret societies like the Odd Fellows and the Cabbage Patch Kids, Dorothy even refers to the cowardly lion as a big old cabbage. And let's not forget about the good witch Glinda, who's dressed in white, who sent Dorothy all the way to the Emerald City when she could have just told her to clack her heels together with the ruby red slippers or the silver slippers. That's just like the boy in white who seems to know how to send people home. So there it is, just a few connections about the Wizard of Oz that I noted. Let me know in the comments if you have any more. Now, Fatima is seriously active in practicing another form of magic tied to the Jewish mysticism with her golem. Last season, I did a video about the starving times and the dates in Tabitha's Tower Dream before season 3 even started. And we see the dates 1609 on the radio with Mari and also the date 1752, both dates from Tabitha's vision in the tower. Now, I've done videos about the 1609 starving times and the Gregorian calendar change in 1752. But something else I noticed was how the digital artifacts look like the Hebrew letters which would be used to animate the golem according to the Kabbalah. Now, the word emet, or this letter arrangement right here, is placed on the golem's forehead. Now, when I talked about these artifacts, right, this is the symbol that is placed on the golem's forehead to animate it. And when I talked about these artifacts being on the radio, I'm not saying that they were on the radio just like this, but each one of these Hebrew characters can be found in the artifacts of what was going on in the radio. And I'll just demonstrate that real quick because I didn't demonstrate it in the video, but I lightly demonstrated it. But let's see here. How do I do this? Okay. Let me just run this part back and I'll pause it where, all right, so what we're going to look for first is starving times and the Gregorian calendar change in 1752. But something else I noticed was how the digital artifacts according to right here is placed on the golem's forehead and connect. Okay, so we're going to look for the X first. Let's look for the X symbol first. If you see any of the other ones, I did demonstrate the Aleph. The Aleph symbol is definitely in the radio, okay? Well, let's see if we can find the X. And I did see the X in here. Hold on. Let me just go back. Okay, right here. 1752. Both dates from Tabitha's vision in the tower. Now, I've done videos about the 1609 starving times and the Gregorian calendar change in 1752. But something else I noticed was how the digital artifacts look like the Hebrew letters. There's your X symbol right here. These two symbols going like this. Okay. And this one upside looks like the middle symbol upside down. Let's keep going. Which would be used to animate the golem according to the Kabbalah. Now the word emet. Now this one looks like the Aleph. Okay. So to animate this, you put the emet symbol on the golem's forehead, and to deactivate the golem, you remove the Aleph, okay? Or this letter arrangement right here is placed on the golem's forehead and connected to its animation. And Amet means truth. And to deactivate it, the first letter Aleph is removed, turning Emet into Met, which means dead. Now, there's so much to unpack about this episode. We could go on for days. I mean, I've been talking about the Jewish mysticism aspect concerning Jim and Hiram Abiff and all the different things for a long time. And since I've been covering this stuff since season 2, and to actually see this presented in the way that it is exciting to say the least, for sure. I gave this episode a 10 out of 10. And if you like this video, go ahead and do all that dope. Hey, yo.
Can I get in there?
let me say something real quick. Thank you for joining me, Demo, and my brother Ray, my green skin brother. But let me say something real quick. Hold on. Let me hop on here and say some shit real quick.
No, I got something to say about that 10 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah, we talked about this when the episode aired. But I see Frumly OG in here asking Taryn and Frumly OG, you wilding with this statement right here. Taryn, I will give you my kids if Bigfoot shows up in this freaking episode. Like,
Not the kids.
not the kids, bro. Leave the kids out of this.
This guy's gonna sacrifice his kids.
Yeah, this
He's
motherfucker gonna end up walking around like a slow walker in this bitch.
watching too much
He's
TV.
trying to make a deal with the entity, which is Taryn Matheru in this motherfucker, bro. Fall back from Leo G. Nah. But you talking like bro is in here. Is Taryn in here? Is Taryn here?
No, I don't think he's here.
Ain't cooey, cuz. Ain't cooey, cuz. All right, let's go. Ray, what's going on, Ray? Well, I know you want to jump in and say something. Go for it, my brother. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, man. I'm ready. They made me wait a week. I'm ready now. But what I was gonna say, when you said 10 out of 10, you know I gave it like a what I give I think I gave
I
it
think you get. I think
7.5.
you gave that joint like a 6, bro. You gave that shit like a
I think I
super
might have
low
gave it a
score.
6. It might have been a 6. But
I was
after
like,
watching it
damn.
again and hearing the breakdowns and stuff like that, I think I'm gonna bump it up to an 8, man. Like
Okay.
that feel more comfortable with me.
Does
But
any
the thing that threw me off was the new enemy or new bad guys that they presented, and they wasn't nothing to deal with.
I'm gonna
They
be
went,
real with you. I don't just throw around tens like that. I found myself throwing around the tens with Severance season 2 though. Damn near every episode was a 10 out of 10
Yo,
for me.
Severance
it was a
season
good
2,
season,
episode 1 was ridiculous.
Oh
good
yeah, the
season. The
story,
last
the
episode,
first 2 episodes was like ridiculous. The finale was ridiculous. The only one that got a low score for me, and it was because it was real short, was the one where Cobell went back to her crib and shit like
Yeah.
that. That's the one I gave kind of a low score, but the symbolism in that one was off the fucking charts though. Like, but
Oh, yo, I caught that Widow's Bay, by the way.
okay. In the chat, thank you for saying that. Because I gave everybody a suggestion to go watch Widow's Bay during the From hiatus. If you watched Widow's Bay during the From hiatus, let me know what your thoughts were about it in the chat. We're gonna go over that. But yeah, let Ray finish saying what he was saying.
Yeah.
nah, I was just saying that I gave it a low score in the beginning, man, and I had a chance to really look back and
Bump it up to an 8. Okay,
yeah,
Demo.
I'm gonna give it the old 8 treatment. But I'm
What's
ready
on
for
your
this
mind,
next
Demo? I
episode. I
know
know
you
that
got
much.
some heat. I know you got some heat. Hopefully, the steel sharpens steel, and you're able to. And my video was able to spark something in your mind. But let me know what's on your mind, bro.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot now. I've been meaning to hop on one of these streams because I don't know if you remember. I know you remember what I was saying about Eloise and how she got out, wrote the Chronocle, Story Walker, all that stuff. And do you remember what I was saying about Jim? About how the Jim that we see with Ethan is actually Jim, like that got pulled from 2-3 weeks ago, pulled into the future to deliver a message to Ethan. I don't know if you remember me saying that stuff.
Yes, I
Uh,
do.
but I was thinking after the last episode, and I'm gonna do my best to explain this as concisely as possible. So I thought of something that actually connects the two things, the Eloise and Jim, right? So we know that when Julie's story, so first off, we know that when characters story walk, they all do it in a different way. And we know that when Julie's story walks, she can be seen, and she can communicate with other people and everything like that. But when she tries to use the bookmarks, it don't work, right? So I think that Eloise is story walking, but in a different way. Eloise can use bookmarks, but when she story walks, she cannot be seen, right? And she cannot interact. So what I think is happening is Julie meets up with Eloise during their story walking shenanigans. And so the other thing is Julie can't, like, the bookmark didn't work because Julie can't take stuff with her. But I think Eloise can take stuff with her. So what I'm saying is that Julie and Eloise end up teaming up. Julie's like, okay, I know how to communicate when story walking, but I can't bring nothing with me. And Eloise is like, okay, well, I can bring stuff with me, but I can't communicate. So let's get your dad, pull him back so we can talk to Ethan. And this also fills in the gap that, like, how would Jim know about the Lake of Tears? Somebody would need to have to tell him about it. Who would know about it? Eloise would know about it because she wrote the book, right? Is any of this making sense?
Absolutely. My whole thing is the reason why I love that theory, and I actually adhere to the theory myself, is because how in the hell is story walking a thing, right? And it's also in this book that wasn't in this place, that was brought to this place by this particular family.
Yeah.
I think all of that actually means something, and it is connected. It would not only make for good writing, but it would also just be very easy. It's kind of one of those situations where the easy way out was actually the
It's,
good route.
yeah. Simplest solution is usually the best solution. And I bring up the bookmarks too, because so the thing that made me think about it was actually Boyd's ring appearing and disappearing. And I think that was Eloise story walking, snagging it up, and then like has it got the infinity sign on it? And I think that's one of Eloise's bookmarks.
Yes, yes, yes. Yo, much love to Saggy Star in the building, our favorite beautiful Sagittarius. Yes, good to have you. I saw you in the chat earlier. I was just trying to go over this video. Didn't get to go over everything. Went over pretty much everything that I wanted to say. I still have some stuff. I did reserve some of the stuff for my next video. I know it'll fit in there perfectly. But yeah, I'm with you on that, Demo. I totally am jiving with that because of the simple fact that there are things that have been brought to this place that are obviously by people that are outside.
Outside, yeah, like the Jim's bracelet.
Jim,
Eloise could have stole that from the hospital to bring it with her um to Fromville, you know what I mean? And because she can hop around in time, she can put that bracelet wherever the hell she wants, whenever she wants. She can put it in her dad's glove box. She
right.
can put it.
That was my theory from a long time ago that somehow that bracelet traveled the same way Boyd did.
Yeah,
This is
because I
and
don't think
this was
there's
before
multiples.
Julie was story walking or anything. I was saying that that's probably how the bracelet traveled. Somebody
And
else is trying to come in, but it says that your device is not connected. So if I were you, I would go back out and allow your microphone to be on. That's typically what it is for that. We
and
have
real quick,
about 20 minutes until the show jumps. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be rocking out until that last minute.
Are
You know what I'm
you gonna
saying?
stay live
We're gonna
during the show?
No, not gonna stay live during the show this time. I'm gonna hop off and start getting my video done so it's not as late as it was. Because there's also another video that I want to do. And I can talk a little about it right now, actually. Um, but have is anybody familiar in the chat? If you're familiar with the Amazing Digital Circus, is anyone familiar with the Amazing Digital Circus?
I am not, man.
Now,
you brought that up last. Was
yeah, I
that
brought
on
this
your?
up a couple of times already. Like I think I even mentioned it, briefly in a video. But I'm gonna be putting some stuff together about Amazing Digital Circus. Amazing Digital Circus is like it's almost like a cartoon. It's a cartoon show. It's for like teenagers and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's um it's really creepy though. It and it's
Yeah,
It's
Did-
creepy in
did-
a dope way. Like,
I think they
but
just made a movie. Didn't they just make a movie?
yeah, the movie comes
It
out this
sounds
month.
familiar.
The movie comes out this month here. I think in June. In June it
Hey, yo,
comes
you
out.
seen Backrooms?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna check that
It
out as
it
well.
was dope.
Yeah, I know that shit was dope. That shit had me captivated on Instagram one day, and I looked it up on YouTube and
Oh
fell
yeah,
into a rabbit hole.
that's a
It
rabbit hole
already,
right there.
yeah, that's a fucking rabbit hole to fall into like crazy. I don't think that, man. I think the hidden hand is involved with that too. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And
I
they
wouldn't
and
be
they
surprised.
they make you think that this is some like independent creator making this stuff here, but
That's a young kid, man. He's young. He's like 20.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like they tell you that this is some independent creator making this shit, but nah, yo, like some of the stuff that I know, either this motherfucker is really in tune with the shit, but I
It's a
don't think
possibility.
he's got it. This kid is 20 years old, bro. Like I'm not shitting on people that are younger than me, but the symbolism in the back rooms is so heavy wealth of information. You know,
Yeah, it is a bit much to be coming from a 20-year-old.
20-year-old. The symbolism is ridiculous in this thing, man.
And
Like,
he started years ago too, so he was like, a,
yes,
a
he was
teenager
like
when he started.
a teenager. He's like 16.
Are y'all
This,
talking about the director?
yeah, the
Yeah,
creator.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I believe he created this shit in Blender. My sons are learning Blender. I fuck around
Yeah,
with.
he did most of it in Blender. Like by most of it, like 99% of it he did in Blender.
Okay, yeah, but
Yeah,
Amazing Digital Circus is like from. It's these characters that pop up in this place. They don't remember their name, so they got to be named. They can't get out of this place. It's this like master of ceremonies type character that is kind of like the boss, and he sends them on these journeys. It's a lot like what we see every season of From. There's like some shit that they got to defeat. It's like a fucked up trip. It's real trippy. The same symbolism, like visual symbolism, is in From. They even have a Victor character that's been there for years and stuff before everybody else got there. Like, and it's like this kids fucking thing, bro. You gotta watch it. It's by this company called Glitch.
I'm gonna check it
yeah.
out.
You mentioned it,
So,
and I forgot about it, but I do want
yo,
to check it out.
this thing has fucking billions of views, my dude. Like the pilot episode has over 300 million views. Like
Yeah,
it's
it's a big deal.
Who is the hidden hand?
the hidden hand is someone that we don't even know what their name is. They've never had an open public office position
Yeah,
at anything. The hidden
it,
hand does not have to work.
it's the
The
man behind the curtain.
right, the real motherfucker
Okay.
behind the curtain who we don't know. People say, "Oh, it's the Illuminati and all of this. It's a secret society." Well, if it's a secret, then how the fuck do you know about it?
Exactly.
Okay.
If
Okay,
it's a
so it's
secret,
like
how do you
above
know
the
about it?
demiurge.
Right. I'm mature enough to say that I don't know who the hidden hand is. And I'm
Yeah.
mature enough to say that I can definitely tell that it's somebody who we don't know. I
That's
can
very
say that.
wise.
It is someone who we don't know. It's someone who we've never heard of. And it's not just one person. It's
No, it's a
probably
group of people. Yeah.
it's probably a group of families that probably make up roughly 500 people. You know
Yeah.
what
I
I'm
mean, even
saying?
if that many.
Even if it's that many, exactly. And they know a lot of different things that we don't know as far as the nature of our reality and all kinds of shit.
Hey,
And
yo, real, can I spit on some golems for a second?
go for it.
Yeah,
Please.
because so I know a little bit about golem. I wrote my novel, and I some of my characters were actually golems. So like I did some research on that back in the day. I forgot more than I learned, but one thing that I thought was interesting is that so golems, you can make golems out of almost anything. You can make them out of mud. You can make them out of rocks. You can make them. You know what I mean? You have stuff in the right words. You can make a golem, right? Um, and that includes things like
Puppets.
dolls and even flesh and bones. You know what I mean? So like you're not making a zombie. It's you're not resurrecting somebody. You're using the parts to create a golem. So that got me thinking that like maybe they're all golems, like the night walkers, the scarecrows. Like maybe these are all different forms of golems. You know that they kind of
Kind of like
become more and more
Frankenstein.
advanced. And like the night walkers, we know that they got human anatomy, so maybe they were just like maybe they got animated human parts, you know. Uh,
Yo,
but
not laughing at what you said. I'm laughing at my sister down here. She said she said the hidden hand needs to look out for her sister.
yeah, for real.
Man,
For
for
real.
real.
How about that?
I would
No,
enjoy
no,
that.
no, no. I'm with you totally. You're right. Golems can be made out of multiple things. I believe the big rock creature dude in the never ending story was a golem.
Yeah, yeah. And somebody who was it in chat just said, it's Debbie Bo Bebby says it. Gollum just means raw
Raw
materials.
materials. Exactly. Woo! Debbie, Abby, Bo, Babby, banana, banana, Bo, Babby, to the feet, five, Mo, Babby,
Debbie,
Debbie.
Debbie.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Debbie, drop your link. Go check out Debbie's artwork. Debbie cooks up fire artwork just the same as she does with fire comments, but her artwork is even more fire. And she's got beats as well. She makes beats, the kind of beats that have your hands on flames like Frey Boggards and Scarecrows and From.
Yeah,
Like,
and if you're out in the woods eating wild mushrooms, you can definitely check out her videos because
yo,
they'll
I'm
do it
not
for you.
even gonna hold you. I was tripping last episode with Jade. I said, "Yo, this is the mushroom trip episode. I'm going for it." I was feeling nice on that
Hey,
live stream.
All right.
hey, the way that they cut that episode. Now, this is what made me bump it up. The way that they cut the Jade tripping on mushrooms and shit. Normally, you don't have I just say this. Normally, the way that movies and shows predict somebody being on drugs and shit like that, that's not the way
Yeah,
that people feel like when they on
for real.
drugs. But the way that they cut that mushroom episode,
Oh
that
yeah, the
shit
way,
was
yeah,
Yeah, they did it.
that shit was very much like how a mushroom trip really is.
yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah.
was good. That
Aside
was
from the hallucinations, you don't hallucinate,
yeah, no, not straight up like that. No, you don't.
but the feeling and the sound and like you can feel all types of shit. Like
Yeah, you get more
Yeah,
sensitive.
you get
yeah,
more
and the way the light bounces off of objects and stuff. I think they did a good job with it.
my very first time like taking like a gram and a half or 2 grams or something like that. I I was making beats and
Yeah,
one of I have long locks and one of my locks like sometimes they like fall over my shoulders, you know what I'm saying? And it fell over to the front because I'm bobbing and I'm dancing while I'm playing the key.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And that motherfucker came across, bro. Check this shit out. And it ran across my arm. I felt that shit roll across every single hair.
yeah,
I
yeah.
felt I felt every single hair. And that's when I realized I was high. And it was like this. I'm gonna tell you another movie that nailed it with the mushroom trip was you ever see the movie Limitless?
It sounds familiar. I don't think I've
Where the
seen it
dude
though.
takes those clear pills and he gets like this euphoric feeling and he's able to access every memory in his brain and it just makes him super smart because he can access every single thing that he's ever seen,
Huh.
heard,
I
or
don't think
any.
I've seen this. This
Oh,
sounds
it's a movie called Limitless. You gotta
yeah, it
see it.
sounds good.
When he takes the pill, everything just all the color grading turns into this like nice warm blast. And that
Yeah.
is what happens when you're on shrooms for sure. Like you get that warm, everything goes to like a warmer thing.
So
You see
I
better.
will I will say this though. I'm pretty sure I personally take the man-made stuff. but I'm pretty sure that you can't just pick them and eat them. I think you got to cure those things for like a week or two before you can just chomp them.
Okay, so I said
Yeah, they
that.
do
I
get
think
they
I
do.
said that in the last live stream about when we did the when I stayed on while it was on. Um, if you take them wet, you're gonna get high, but they're going to fuck your stomach up.
Yeah.
They're going to fuck your stomach up. You will wish that the trip will not be good.
No.
It will not be good at all because you won't get
It's
high
gonna come
until
up
you throw
one
up,
way or
and
another.
it's gonna come
Yeah.
up, and you might get the shits.
Yeah.
It's
You
Yeah.
might
gonna
No.
come
get
out the
the shits
front
in
or
the
the
whole
back,
nine.
man.
You
That's why
have
I
to
like the
ride this
man-made stuff.
shit out,
'Cause it's,
especially if it's some shit like any kind of the mushrooms that he picked, man. Them brown shits like that. Those
yeah.
were the same mushrooms from Willow's Bay.
Yeah. Yeah. Widow's
Episode
Bay.
5 of Willow's Bay and
You
episode 5 of From were both mushroom trips from the same
you
type of mushroom.
you were right about episode 4. I will give you that. Episode 4 kind of like it kind of hooked me. Although I'm not it's Widow's Bay is kind of like I feel like it's a bit more disjointed
It's
than like
Severance meets From.
yeah, but I like for instance like Severance, I got hooked first episode with the premise. From I got hooked first episode from the premise. In Widow's Bay, I don't feel like I've been hit with the hook yet. Some of the stuff has been fun and entertaining and interesting, but I
I
don't
felt
feel
the
like I've been
same. I
hooked.
felt the same way. But the thing that I like about it is, it's one of those kind of shows. If you give a chance, you'll notice that each episode just keeps progressing and getting
Yeah,
better. The first
yeah, no,
episode was more comedy, and
yes.
then the second episode was like, okay, all right, and then
Well, I
the
kind of
third episode was like, oh, all right, y'all cooking up some shit. But the fourth
fourth
episode was
episode
like,
was
what
wild.
the fuck is this?
That shit
Yeah,
was
I hadn't
wild.
had a chance to
Crazy.
catch it yet.
And the fourth episode, like I'm telling you, that's what I want to start seeing and from. I need to start seeing shit like
Some
that.
crazy shit like that. Yeah, I think the fifth episode, I think the fourth episode was better, but the fifth episode is kind of when I was like, I wish they started with this, where it's just like, okay, you have your core group of 3 people and they're doing this investigation.
I would
Um,
not have liked it if they would have started. I don't think it should have been the fifth episode, but I don't think it should have been the first
yeah, all
episode.
right, I'll meet you halfway on that for
I
sure.
say maybe episode 3 they should have gave us that.
Yeah. And then the sixth episode was actually not that bad, even though I don't usually like historical colonial stuff, but that fifth episode was actually kind of decent.
5 and
Hey, I got
6.
a quick
I
question.
like how they gave us 2 episodes, 5 and 6 together because you couldn't have done that any other way. It would have
Yeah.
sucked after watching episode 5 and then
And
it would
then
have sucked
seeing
to
that,
wait
yeah.
another week for episode 6. You'd have been like, "Man, fuck that." Just
Yeah,
throw that
no,
in the
for
trash.
real.
We got
But
No,
no,
15 episodes left.
we got 3 minutes. No,
oh
What do you
shit.
no.
think?
Actually from season 5 is going to be 13 episodes.
Oh
Okay,
shit.
so we got 18.
All right. I mean,
We
that's
got
time.
we got 18, yeah.
So
That's some
you
good
think they're
time.
gonna be able to wrap all these storylines up, or do you
Nah, I
think they
think they're
have
going to
time to
do a
even
spin-off.
introduce new storylines?
I think they're definitely gonna do a spinoff. I think they're gonna go the same route that
I
it
said
Welcome
the
to Dairy.
same shit, bro. Bro, I'm right there with you. They need to do like a loss from universe,
I
man,
want to see
where they
Miranda and
have
Victor's
different
timeline.
spots where weird shit be going on. You know what I'm
I
saying?
want to see. I want to see Victor's timeline. As a matter of fact, right here's another. Here's a great idea for the second series of From. Um, since the little boy that played young Victor has grown up and he's got a little older, show us
Oh,
what
they could
happened to
do
Victor when he
yeah.
got a little older. Show us how he survived. Show us some shit, and
Oh
you
no,
know,
I think I would
Yeah, like a
prefer something
mid
that takes
prequel
place
type deal.
afterwards. I
right?
don't know if I would like a prequel. Prequels are always kind of like interesting, but you already know what's going to happen, so it's not as engaging usually.
It
Um,
Welcome to Dairy knocked it out the motherfucking park.
who's that?
It
Yeah,
Welcome
welcome to
to
Dairy.
Dairy.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
that
no,
shit is dope.
I
And
don't
then
do
with
it.
the way that they doing it, they're going backwards in time each
No
season.
Stephen King for me.
So each season is gonna be like another cycle, but it's gonna be going backwards though.
It's gonna be going backwards, and
Yeah,
they've
that shit is
already
dope.
I
they
read one of his
revealed
books
that
and I'll never do it again.
Pennywise can see all of it at the same time.
Yo, I'm gonna
Yeah,
go
I
pour me
like that,
some
man.
whiskey and go watch some TV, guys.
Yes,
I'm out of
indeed.
here.
Trump is coming on. Yo,
Yep,
thank
yep.
you guys for joining. Yo,
Thanks for
check
having me.
out, yes, indeed. Check out the video when it drops. I'll
Same here,
catch
bro.
y'all in the next live stream. Peace.
Y'all have a
Peace.
good one.